Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be going through the solution to the January 2022 paper 3, right? Okay, so the Crusaders and the Seahawks are two teams in a basketball tournament. The scale drawing below shows the relative position of the Crusaders Club C and the Seahawks Club H. The scale on the drawing is 1 cm to 400 meters, right? So they give us a diagram like this, and they want us to get the actual distance in kilometers between the two clubs. Now, this is just an example here, guys, right? Because I'm not using the actual exam paper, but what you're gonna have to do is to take your ruler and measure that distance here. So let's say, I'm just saying, this is an example. Let's say we got 6 centimeters, right? Example. So the scale, they told us the scale is 1 cm. 1 cm, right, represents 400 meters, right? Now, all we need to do to figure out the distance here is 6 cm represents, and what we're going to do is take 6 and multiply by 400, and we're going to get 6 4s are 24, so that's 2400 meters. However, the question says, what is the actual distance in kilometers? So to convert from meters to kilometers, right, you're going to divide by 1000. So if we divide by 1000, we're going to get 2.4 kilometers, right? So like I said, this is just an example. You have to use the actual paper and measure that length CH, right? So that's the first part here. Second part now, they said Greenwich Park Sports Arena, G, the venue is the venue of the tournament and is on a bearing of 120 degrees from C and 85 degrees from H. On the scale drawing, indicate the position of G, the venue of the basketball tournament. So we're going to look at the diagram and we want to measure a bearing of 120 degrees from C. So from C means I'm going to put a note line here, which they've already done for me, and I'm going to measure 120 degrees going that way, right? So we have to get 120 degrees here, and we have another bearing which is 85 degrees from H. So you draw a note line at the point H and you're going to measure 85 degrees. Now this whole thing is 90 here, so therefore 85 might be something like this, right? Now this is just a sketch, right? So this angle here is going to be 85 degrees, right? And what we're doing here, we're measuring 120. So what we're going to do, we're going to go this way. So you take your ruler and you draw a line going this way. Where those two lines meet, right, that is going to be where my G is, where the tournament is going to be held, right? So that's the answer for that part. The next part, teams are given points for winning or drawing games. A win is given by X points and a draw is given by Y. No points are given when a team loses. The Crusaders have 24 points, right? So basically, this is what's happening here. So they want two equations in X and Y to represent the information. So let's start with the Crusaders. They have a total of 24 points. So if they won 2 games, it means they would have gotten 2 times X points, plus they drew 5 games, so it's 5Y, and that is equal to 24 points. So that's for the Crusaders. Next one here, we have 3 games, that's 3X plus 4Y is equal to 29, right? So those are my 2 equations here. So what we essentially have is a pair of simultaneous equations, right? Use the matrix method. Okay, so we want to use a matrix method to figure out X and Y basically. So 2X plus 5Y equal 24. So 2X plus 5Y equal 24. That's one equation. And the second one is 3X plus 4Y equal 29. Right, so that's my 2 equations. So the first thing I need to do is to take that information and write it in a matrix format. To do that, what I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to be looking at my coefficients here. We have this, we have this, we have this, and we have this. So therefore, what I'm going to write now is going to be 2, 5, 3, and 4. That's my 2 by 2 matrix. And I'm going to put XY here. And this here is going to be 24, 29. Right? That's how I transform, or I take the information from my equations and come up with my matrix. Now, the matrix that is important to us here, right, is that 2 by 2 matrix. I'm going to use that 2 by 2 matrix now. So let's call that 2 by 2 matrix M. So that's going to be 2, 5, 3, 4. And I need to find the inverse of that matrix. So the first thing, let's find the determinant, right? So it's going to be 2 by 4, right, minus 5 by 3. So that's how we find the determinant of a matrix. So that's 4 2s are 8 minus 15, and that's going to give me minus 7. So therefore, the inverse of that matrix is going to be minus 1 over 7 multiplied by the adjoint of the matrix. So I need to swap the positions of the 2 and the 4 and put a minus sign here and put a minus sign here. So that's my inverse of my matrix. Your next step now is to multiply both sides of the equation by your inverse matrix. So I'll end up with minus 1 over 7, 4 minus 5 minus 3, 2. This is going to be 2, 5, 3, 4. And then here is going to be minus 1 over 7 multiplied by 4 minus 5 minus 3, 2. Right? And this is going to be 24, 29. Right? So that's my inverse. That's what I need to do. I need to multiply both sides by the inverse of the matrix. Now the thing is, when you multiply an inverse multiplied by a matrix, you're going to get what we call my identity matrix, which is given by 1, 0, 0, 1. So therefore, on the left-hand side of the equation here, what I'm really ending up with, oh wait, I just realized I forgot the xy here, right? Sorry. I forgot the xy here. Right? So on the left side, I'm going to get 1, 0, 0, 1 multiplied by xy. And what I need to do, I need to multiply out that right-hand side here. So don't do anything with the 1 over 7. Leave that as is, right? And I should get a 2 by 1 matrix. Now to get that 2 by 1 matrix, right, you have to use a different color here. So we're doing row by column. So we need to take this row here. We need to take this row here and multiply by this column here, right? So therefore, that's going to be 4 by 24 plus minus 5 by 29, right? And let's work that out. So 4 by 24 plus brackets minus 5 by 29 close brackets. I'm going to get minus 49. And so this here is going to be minus 49. Then I need to take this row and multiply by the same column here. So that's going to be minus 3 multiplied by 24 plus 2 by 29. And what I'm going to get there now is minus 3 multiplied by 24 plus brackets 2 by 29 close brackets. And I'm going to get minus 14. Right? So therefore minus 14 is going to come here. So let's just write that across here so we understand what's happening. 1, 0, 0, 1 by xy is minus 1 over 7 minus 49 minus 14. That's where we're at. So when you multiply matrix by its identity matrix, you're going to end up with simply xy. So on the left hand side, we're going to have this. On the right hand side, that's a scalar product. So minus 1/7. You need to take this and multiply by this. You're going to get 7. And then we need to take this and multiply by this. And you're going to get 2. So what that means is that x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 2. So therefore, you get 7 points when you win. And you get 2 points when you draw the game. Right? So that's how we're going to score that. Right? And that's it for question 1. That's it for question 1. Second one here now. Carla invests in a poultry farm business. She buys X numbers of chicks, Y number of ducklings, right? And basically we have some statements here. So this question is about linear programming, and they have some statements that we need to write in the form of an inequality. So the number of chickens, remember chicks were X, right? So therefore X has to be greater than, they said at least twice. So X is greater than or equal to 2Y, right? And they wrote the second one for us already. Third one, although Carla must buy more than 500 birds, which means that X plus Y, now they said more than, so it has to be greater than or equal to 500 birds, right? That's my second inequality here. Now each chick costs $2 and each duckling costs $4. The maximum amount of money Carla can spend is 14. So therefore, if she purchases X, right, chicks at $2, the cost for that will be 2X. Plus, if she purchases Y ducklings, it'll be 4Y. And she can't spend more than $1,400. That's a maximum. So therefore, it has to be less than or equal to 1,400. And that means that if we divide everything by 2, we'll end up with X plus 2Y is less than 700, which is what they asked us to show to begin with, right? That's what they asked us to show. Right, so they said the line Y is equal to 80 is drawn on the grid below. Draw 3 lines associated with the other inequalities. So let's start. X is X greater than or equal to 2Y. So let's start with this one. X is greater than or equal to 2Y. So therefore, I need to draw the line X is equal to 2Y. If I rearrange this, I'll get X is equal to a half, Y is equal to half X, right? Now to draw that straight line, I'm going to need 2 points in order to do that, right? I need 2 points in order to do that. Right, so when I need to draw a straight line, I need 2 points in order to do that. So the points I'm going to use, if I use, let's say when X is equal to 0, then Y is going to be equal to a half multiplied by 0, which is 0. So therefore, 1 point I can plot is 0, 0. I need a second point if I want to draw a straight line. So when X is equal to, let's see what the scale is looking like. Let's say I choose 400, right? Let's say I choose 400. When X equals 400, Y is simply going to be a half multiplied by 400, which is equal to 200. So this point here that I'm going to plot is 400, 200, right? So let's go and plot those 2 points. So 0, 0 is here, and 400, 200 is here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a line. Right, so it has to pass through the 2 points I plotted, which is 0, 0. And the next point here is 400, 200. Right, so I've plotted one graph here, so let's label that. So that is Y is equal to a half X. Right, that's Y is equal to half X. The next thing now, what's the next graph? Right, they already plotted this one. So X plus Y equal 500, right? So the inequality is X plus Y is greater than or equal to 500. So therefore the graph that I'm going to plot is X plus Y is equal to 500. Again, I need to choose 2 points. And what I normally do when it's written in that format is when X equal to 0, y is equal to 0, sorry, not 0. Yeah, y is going to be equal to 500, and therefore that point is going to be 0, 500. The next point is when y is equal to 0, x is going to be equal to 500 as well. So therefore this point is going to be 500, 0. So those are the 2 points I'm going to plot. 0, 500, that is up here, and 500, 0, which is down here, right? So what I'm going to do now, let's draw a line passing through those 2 points. Right, so that's my graph here, right? And that is x plus y. So this graph here is x plus y is equal to 500, right? So that's my second line. Now my third inequality now has to do with this. X plus 2y is less than or equal to 700. So x plus 2y is less than or equal to 700. So the graph that we're going to plot is x plus 2y is equal to 700. So we're going to use when x equal to 0, what's going to happen is 2y is equal to 700. So y is equal to 700 over 2. So y is equal to 350. So therefore, this point here is going to be 0, 350. Right? That's the point that I'm going to plot. I'm going to also use when y is equal to 0. Right? What's going to happen in that scenario is x is going to be equal to 700. So that point on my graph is going to be 700, 0. So 0, 350. That's this point here. And the next point is 700, 0. That is here. Right? So again, we're going to use our ruler and we're going to draw a next line. So it's going to pass through this point here and this point down here. Right? So that's my line, where does x plus 2y equal 700? So this here is x plus 2y is equal to 700. So that's my first step, guys. You need to be able to draw these lines first of all before we can do anything, right? So my next step now is to actually shade the correct regions. So let's go back to the first equation, and that is this. X is greater than or equal to 2y. So x greater than or equal to 2y. I can write that as 2y is less than or equal to x. So y is less than or equal to a half x. So what I normally do, I have to select a test point in order to decide where I'm going to shade, above or below the line. I'm going to just choose any point. I'm going to choose this point here, 300, 0. You all can choose any point. So my test point, right, is 300, 0. What we're doing is checking to see if that point actually lies in the correct region. So I'm going to substitute that into my inequality. So 0 is less than or equal to a half multiplied by 300. So therefore 0 is less than or equal to 150. So this is true. 0 is less than 150. So therefore the test point lies in the region that I should be shading, right? So remember the region, this is the test point here. So therefore I'm shading this way here. So it has to be below this line, right? So that's one inequality that we knew already. The next one now, x plus y greater than 500. So x plus y greater than or equal to 500. I need to select a test point, right? You choose any point you want above or below the line, right? Let's see, right, so I'm going to use 0, 0 as my test point. That's a good test point. So my test point is 0, 0. So let's plug that into my inequality. So 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 500. So 0 greater than or equal to 500. And that statement here is actually false, right? This is false. 0 is not greater than 500, so that's false. So what that means is that this test point does not lie in the region that I should be shading, right? It should not lie in the region that I should be shading. So I should be shading in this direction. I must be shading above that line, right? So that's my second inequality. My third inequality is x plus 2y is less than 700. So x plus 2y is less than or equal to 700. So I'm going to select a test point again. Easiest point to choose is 0, 0. Once it's not on a line, you can choose that as a test point. So 0 plus 2 by 0 is less than or equal to 700. So therefore 0 is less than or equal to 700. And basically that's true. So therefore, if I look at the line x plus 2y 700, I should be shading this way. Right? That is where I should be shading. And the last inequality was, what's the one with the 80? Y is greater than or equal to 80. So that one is easy. Y is greater than or equal to 80. That's anything above this line here. Right? So I've drawn all the points, but I need to shade the correct region that they want me to shade. So they said the label R, the required region which satisfies all 4 inequalities. So based on that information there, the region we're talking about here is this. This is R. And let me use a different color here so we can see R clearly. So this is R here. Right? This is the region that they're talking about. Now, the next part of the question now, they want us to, what they want here now? So the average weight of a chicken at the time of harvest is 2.75 kg and the duck is 2.28 and they gave us the selling prices. Assuming that the information given above holds true, write an equation for total sales. So the total sales, right? So if she sells X chickens, it's going to be 2.75, right? Multiplied by X, right? This is how much pounds of chicken she will, how much kg, sorry, of chicken she will sell. But she's selling that at $11, right? So that's the total amount of money she'll make from the chickens. Plus, we have 2.28 multiplied by Y, right? Multiplied by 1250, because that's how much he's selling it for. So this here is going to work out to be 2.75 multiplied by 11. This is going to be 30.25, right? X plus 2.28 multiplied by 1250, and you're going to get 28.5. So this is 28.5 Y. So that's the expression for her total sales, right? And given that none of the birds will die prior to harvesting, advise Carla on the number of chicks and ducklings that she must buy. So we want to maximize sales. When you have a linear programming question, what we need to pay attention to are the vertices. So we need to look at the vertices of my shaded region. That's what we're looking at. So let me get a different color here. All right, so we're looking at this point here. We're looking at this point here. We're looking at this point up here, right? And we're looking at whatever this point is here, right? So those are 4 coordinates we need to look at. So let me start with the easiest one. This is 410, that's 420, 80. So the first point is 420, 80. That's your first point. The second point is 550, 80. We have our next point here, which is 350, 175. And then we have one more point, which is probably a little off, but let's see. That is, according to my diagram, that's about 3, 10, 20, 30. That's about 335, 165. 335, 165. Right? Now, my total sales equation is 30.25x. So total sales is 30.25x plus 28.5y. Right? So basically, I need to plug all of that information into my equation. Right? Hold on, I just realized I didn't write down the coordinates again. So that, how much I said it was? 3, 10, 20, 30, 335, 165. 335, 165. Right. So what I need to do now, I need to take every single one of those and I need to plug it into that sales formula. Right? So my total sale will be 30.25 multiplied by 420 plus 28.5 multiplied by 80, and we need to work that out. For this one, it'll be same 30.25 multiplied by 550 plus 28.5 multiplied by 80. This one will be 30.25 multiplied by 350 plus 28.5 multiplied by 80. Sorry, not 80, 175. And then the last one is going to be 30.25 multiplied by 335 plus 28.5 multiplied by 165. So basically, we need to work out each of these values, and from that, we can figure out what is the largest value. So 30.25 multiplied by 420 plus 28.5 by 80, close the brackets, you're going to get 14,000. So this here is 14,985. The next one is going to be 30.25 multiplied by 550 plus brackets 28.5 multiplied by 80. And what I'm getting here is 18,917.50. Then we have 30.25 multiplied by 350 plus brackets 28.5 multiplied by 175, close brackets. And I'm getting 15,575. And then the last one is 30.25 multiplied by 335 plus brackets 28.5 multiplied by 165. And I'm getting 14,836.25. So therefore, the one that gives me the maximum or the largest sales will be this one here, right? That's our maximum sale here. This point is corresponding to the maximum sales. So she should sell, or she should purchase, right? 550 chicks, and she should purchase 80 ducklings. All right. So that brings us to the end of this paper 3. All right. So if you haven't done so as yet, please hit like and subscribe. Right. And I do give online classes, right, in several subjects: maths, physics, chemistry, and admaths. All right. So take care, guys.